I mean, you guys know I'm coming at you with a top five Alexandria video right now, bro. This is crazy. All right. So it's the hardest thing for me to do is give you a top five of this house because I had to like eliminate so many that I love in my mix, and it just really made me think like what top five. So I had to pick like five. As soon as I run out, I have to get another bottle. That was one of my criteria. Another one is these are just like the core of part of my collection, like as a whole, not just relative to Alexandria, but these five at the beginning here. I'm gonna drop the hottest one first, okay? Let's get right into it. I don't even think it needs any more introduction. It's Visionary. It's Visionary, baby. Visionary is the Louis Vuitton Imagination clone. So this even further cemented itself in my collection. It's probably the nicest citrus fragrance that I have. I mean, or that I've smelled. Maybe it's just the DNA itself. They just did an excellent job with this. I love the twist that they used on. I'm gonna give it a little. I gotta give it a little love. It's crazy, beautiful friggin' citrus with this like aquatic kind of freshness to it, and some woodsy stuff too. But like, really, that's not it. It's really this beautiful, juicy lemon candy kind of citrus thing. And if you ever smell Louis Vuitton's Imagination and this, okay, so I've gotten the chance to do that. Wore it on one arm, wore the other one on the other. And I do notice a difference, so I'm going to give you a comparison too. So now you can decide whether this is worth its $45 or whatever, the 60 ml. I think it was 40 something dollars. And you always get these deals around holidays and stuff. They always have like percents off, so like what's not to love? Also, I'm not sponsored. I don't talk to Alexandria. It's nothing that I'm pushing on it. I just think that they're a great house, okay? Especially for the layman. Those of us who do not want to spend $380 without tax, okay? After tax, that's like 400 something dollars, 430, 420. Okay, so the original of this is that. It's like $400 fragrance, guys. And you can't really get it on the black market or the gray market or whatever they call it because it's probably a fake. If you're going to get it on eBay, guess what? You're probably getting a fake. I've had that happen. You see this bottle right here, this Nishane Oolong Cha? Yeah, all right, boys. 140 I spent on this, right? It's a fake, okay? I got to do a video talking about that because I'm waiting for Nishane's Oolong Cha to actually be available on a legit website. It's sold out everywhere. It's so hyped. Anyway, I'm going to do a comparison video, give you guys that. But right back to Visionary. This is number one Alexandria fragrance to me. This is the best one. Everyone who smells it buys it. All my friends got it already. They can't deny that Visionary is so good. All right. The DNA is crazy. The difference between the Louis V and this, the Louis V in the mid, late to very late stages actually dries down more musky and clean. The citrus seems to fade. This just kind of stays the same, whereas the volume knob just goes down. Okay, it stays pretty much the same the whole way through, whereas the Louis V has a little bit more layering going on. Like I can smell the different stages of it. You know, it's got maybe two and a half kind of different distinct stages. It's got the original beautiful thing, then it's got that tapered off kind of where the citrus really is like sticking around. And that's the thing with these freshies. If you get a freshie that's beast mode and perform this performs like excellent, man. Really above average. Like not like beast, but you can spray too much of this, so maybe it is. I don't really need that many sprays of this. I haven't even used that much of the bottle. I'm still up here, like right here. And it's my favorite fragrance from them. And it's so good, and I wear it like crazy. And I only need like 2, 3, 4 sprays, and that's it. For a fresh fragrance like that smells with this profile, that's not unheard of anymore because I'm discovering more, but it's very rare. It's definitely very rare, and I appreciate something like this in any collection, really. Anyone could get this. It's safe for like everyone. And I smelled this DNA on like a 60-something-year-old woman the other day at work, and I was like, "Are you wearing Louis Vuitton Imagination?" She's like, "Yeah," and she was wearing the original, but I almost said Visionary because it smelled like this too. Almost indistinguishable in the air. In the late dry down, that's when I see the difference. Is it worth the price difference? I can't say yes. I really can't. The Louis V is $380, I think, retail before tax. This is like $45, man. You can't go wrong with it. It's just a killer. That's the king of the Alexandrias in my collection. Second one, I went by this one because I have experienced a ton of the Reflection Man DNA, and this is my favorite of those. Okay, this is the Runway by Alexandria. You got, it says jasmine, neroli, and sandalwood on it. Well, there's a little more going on than that. This is like a sweeter take on the Reflection Man DNA without as much of the powderiness. So some of the clones get more peppery and powdery and dusty kind of. This one takes it in that more sweet kind of density, almost the way that Reflection 45 wears, but not so green and not so herbal or whatever. That one's really great too, but it does wear distinctly different. This one's like a little bit in that direction. You do get really great performance off this. I'd say even better than the original. And I definitely tore through this little bottle. There's not much left there, guys. I'm just kind of keeping it for now. As soon as I run out of it, I gotta go and get me some more. I'm gonna get the big bottle of this. And the thing is, I want to buy Reflection Man, but the price on it's crazy for me personally. I could save up for it, but when I know that this exists and I like it so much already, it's hard for me because now I don't really need to go get Reflection Man because I just like this in a vacuum on its own. The Runway is great. It does the job for me with the Reflection Man DNA. I like it better than all of the clones. This is the best Reflection Man clone in my book. Is it the closest and most accurate? I'd say most accurate, maybe not because it loses out on the powdery components just a bit. It's still there though. It's definitely more sweet. Yeah, it's not as like dusty powdery like some of them get, but you might not like this. I do. This is my second number 2. This is number 2 in the collection, my Reflection Man clone. This one does it the best. I love how it wears, and I've gotten a lot of compliments. Those two fragrances I just said, Visionary and the Runway, both fragrance kings, absolute compliment kings. All right, so this one right here, this one got used quick. This one, I didn't realize it was a unisex until my fiance started wearing it like crazy too, and then I'm realizing that this smells good on everyone. This is Green Envy. This is Green Envy from Alexandria. This is number 3, man. This is number 3 in the collection. Top 3, all right? That's ready top 3. This is a clone of Greenlee, okay, by Parfums de Marly. Greenlee is a green apple, kind of cedar wood, airy, kind of beautiful fragrance. Just so friggin' great. It's so hard to explain how beautiful this is. It's a green apple fragrance that smells like that Granny Smith. Yeah, it definitely has that. It has like this like dry woods kind of deal going on and something like bubbly to it. It's got like this bubbly, almost soda kind of Sprite bubbles kind of thing going on. It's really lively and just zingy and like almost like a sour green apple kind of deal, but not so gross and like intensely sweet. Definitely recommend. It's great. My friends have been buying this one. I think 2 of my buddies got this one because they know the truth of Green Envy, all right? Greenlee's really great too, but it's $210. I have a sample of Greenlee that I wore on my right arm. I had this, wore it on my left arm. Indistinguishable to me, indistinguishable to my fiance, and this lasted me longer. Plus, it's cheaper, and I could get more sprays out of it without feeling like I'm wasting a lot of money, because if you get the $210 plus $280, I mean, if you go to the store and get Greenlee, it's gonna be $300 something, I think, by the end of the day. This 30 ml bottle gets you pretty far. We're done with half of it already. Number 3 in my collection for sure. Alexandria top 3, Green Envy. It's hard to say no to that. It really is, guys. It's tough. Here's number 4, which just got pushed out of that spot because this is the best clone of Angel Share. It is. Brooklyn Fragrance Lover. All right. This is the best clone of Angel Share that I've encountered. I think it's just as good as Angel Share. It's so crazy good, guys. It really is. Cinnamon apple pie kind of dessert with like a cognac thing going on. and it's so elegant and warm. This is like the king of fall fragrances. My buddy was texting me today. He's like excited about this fragrance. Shout out Connor, what up? He wants to get Brooklyn Fragrance Lover. He asked, you know, if someone asked me what's the best clone of Angel's Share, and I go through all of them in my head, and I'm like, out of everything, this one, because it gets the closest to the magic that the original has. Like, that's one of those fragrances where the original does have something magical going on. I know it's like a weird word to say that, but sometimes the original just has this thing that the dupes can't get. There's a little, whatever, it might be their signature chemical or something that they have, like Mancera kind of. I kind of think, how the hell is anyone going to clone a Mancera? I could smell a Mancera's DNA, like the way they construct all their fragrances. There's a signature kind of molecule that they use in like everything. Maybe that's what I mean by the magic. Maybe these companies who are cloning can't get their hands on that. This one's so close, guys. So close. And honestly, without even comparing it to the original, I know it's supposedly a clone. By itself, if you didn't even know Angel Share existed, Brooklyn Fragrance Lover is sick. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's just like stunning. Unisex, if you smell this on someone, your mouth might water. Like, there's like this spicy, like, it's like exactly like how I described it, like a warm apple turnover kind of with cinnamon and cognac, and it's like sweet and just excellent. This thing is excellent. I got the 55 ml here. Not really tearing through it too hard, but that's a good amount of wears right there, guys. It's a fairly sweet fragrance, so that's a heads up to anyone who doesn't understand this kind of DNA yet and you haven't experienced it. It's a gourmand, so it smells like desserts. It smells like a mix of a dessert and a drink. There's a little bit of booziness in it with that cognac, but really excellent. Stunner. Real stunner. I'm still smelling this Visionary. So good. Anyway, Brooklyn Fragrance Lover, for those of you who do not know, just check it out. You know, I always recommend. I'm going to tear through some samples after this top 5 and show you guys some stuff. The next things I'm going to get. And then one observation I made that might actually shock some of you that are into fragrances right now. Even you YouTubers out there who are watching me, there's something cool I just discovered tonight. But this is number 5. It's Ruthless Aqua. So Ruthless Aqua is supposedly cloning Invictus Aqua. I have very little experience with Invictus Aqua. None of the Invictuses jump off the shelf at me. Whenever I try them, I'm kind of underwhelmed by them. Same thing with Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. It's the same kind of deal. All right, so this smells like that grapefruit that's in Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. But you also have aquatic and shower jelly natures to this, so it's a little bit more nuanced. It's a clean aquatic fragrance, right? It's going to smell like soapy. It's going to smell like you just showered. And actually, it almost is like masking that you're not wearing cologne. It smells like you're just clean, okay? Ruthless Aqua just dropped also like 2 weeks ago. And I just grabbed a bottle. Everything else was sold out. Only the 100 ml was available. This is the only 100 ml I got from Alexandria so far. And it's going to take me a while to get through it. But whenever I need a fragrance that I need to smell clean and only use like 1 or 2 sprays and not smell like I'm wearing a fragrance, I smell like I'm just clean and showered, right? People don't understand that this isn't a fucking cologne. This is like you showered in a bottle. This is like, oh, I'm clean in a bottle. Like, that's the deal with this one. Ruthless Aqua's great. That's number 5 from the house. And now I have 3 stragglers. They didn't make the top 5, but they are must talk abouts. You have to talk about these. I couldn't leave them out of the video, but that was the top 5, guys. Now we got like 6, 7, and 8, but they don't really make a top list because they're just for me. All right, these are just for me. Purple Haze. You didn't think I was gonna mention Purple Haze? Okay, BT Sense got me into Purple Haze. Right, BT Sense. He got me into Ahmed Al-Maghribi's Cough, Purple Haze, some other stuff. Anyway, this thing, Purple Haze, damn, it's Psychedelic Love by Initio. So when I go and smell that in the store, and I actually have a sample of it, I prefer this one over that. I know that's blasphemous. This happens a lot with Alexandria, where I prefer this one over the actual expensive original. That thing is like over $300-400 for that, the original. This, let me explain how it smells. It's very feminine, okay? And you can smell it's pretty beast mode, this thing, and it lasts a really long time. This is like one of those that just sticks around. So it uses florals. It uses kind of like an almondy, kind of nutty, kind of milky almost. This beautiful cloud. And it's very sensual, attractive, like a sexual fragrance. They say it's got heliotrope and hedione in it. Those are like, if you look those two things up, those are like aphrodisiacs, okay? Those are smells that induce like sexual drive of humans. I don't know how much of that I believe, guys. It just seems kind of subjective to me, but you know, they put that scent in here with the intent that, hey, this is a sexual fragrance. We're going to acknowledge that. We're going to go for it. We're going to put stuff in it that's supposed to like make your sex drive go crazy. Anyway, let's go right on top. That's sick. It's beautiful. It's going to last a long time because it is beast mode, and I can't wear it to a lot of occasions. But for me, being the guy who I could wear like feminine stuff, this is pretty feminine. A girl could wear this too. So if you need something unisex for the two of you, you guys could both rock this. This is a no-brainer for me. I mean, I love it. If I ever run out of Purple Haze, I'm going to get more. Definitely getting more. That's my criteria for this video. If I run out of one of these, I will be re-upping from the Alexandria, okay? So Purple Haze for sure. That stood out to me, that one. It's a flowery kind of deal. A little bit, definitely very sweet kind of deal. A little bit powdery, right? Definitely very nice. Just a little feminine. This one's a little bit on the opposite end of the spectrum. This one's crazy. I don't even know. Let's go right there. Absolutely ridiculous. So there's a story behind this one now. I have like some lore and some things to discuss about Red Stallion. But Red Stallion is a clone of PDM's Callan. I don't really know how I'm supposed to say it, but I got this. I liked it so much, I blind bought the OG to do a comparison to see like if I like this so much, the OG's got to be like something I'd wear. So I get the OG, which is PDM Callan, the red bottle. I have it inside. I talked about it in my last video. But I've been wearing it. So, totally different scent though. This clone, it's not a clone. It's an interpretation. And that's something that I messed up my definitions with. Because an interpretation takes that scent that they smelled, analyzes it. The perfumer says, how can I make this a little bit better or a little bit more signature to me? Or a little bit just different so that it's not just a complete clone. This thing loses all the dusty, powdery components of that, and it changes the pepper. This pepper in this is like the spiciest red, hot chili pepper. Literally like pepper spray kind of hotness, like red hot chili pepper flakes that you put on your pizza. That kind of hot pepper smell. You know what it's like, I'm telling you. It's searing, but in the best way. And then underneath that, or combined with that, like weaved into that, you have this sweetness, like a Baccarat Rouge 540 sweetness, like the extrate sweetness. It's so awesome, guys. It takes that sweet Baccarat Rouge, like the people who are looking into the Rouge clones all the time, like they're looking for that extrate clone, they're looking for the Rouge 540 DNA. I had no idea this was coming, but I love this take on it. It puts that hot pepper, and I know that sounds like goofy. It's so good. I got compliments on it already. And I just love the whiffs of this thing. It actually is really great performance too. You can layer it with the Rouge. So I did that. I actually wore this and layered the Rouge on top of it. So I have like 5 different clones of the Rouge. I used the Dua one. I've already talked about that. Dua's Casino Royale Room 540 layered with this. Forget about it. Alexandria Dua all over me. Let's go, bro. Red Stallion's crazy. All right, it's not for everyone. So the story behind how I even thought about this is they send me the order that I ordered, and they send me 3 free samples in the order, and one of them is Red Stallion. And I think nothing of it. I take the sample and I just kind of throw it in the bin. I have like 1,000 friggin' samples, guys. Oh, I have so many Alexandria samples because every time I order from them, I always get a sample pack with different fragrances. I think I've smelled 40-something different fragrances from them, or at least just have 40-something different samples at this point. And then I have like a bunch of these bottles that I ended up fully purchasing. But Red Stallion was in there, and I sprayed that on, and I remember being like thrown by it. I was like totally thrown by it. I was like, what is this? The spiciest like hot peppers, guys. It's kind of like funny, but it's so good the way they mingle these two, hot and sweet, kind of like Thai chili sauce kind of deal. But yo, telling you, sick. It's gonna be crazy in the winter when I'm rocking that, smelling like a spicy friggin' Rouge 540. Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe that they did it better than the original. The original smells like you're a chef and you're cutting up like green and red peppers, and you also wear some cologne that's like soft and sweet. This one takes the sweetness, radicalizes the sweetness, takes the hotness, radicalizes the hotness, gets rid of all that middle stuff, just smacks it out of the way. And the main feature is just those two things. Absolutely love this thing, the way they modified that original's DNA. So my one qualm with Alexandria is that all these bottles look the same, and they don't really write their name like really super legible. Like you don't even see the names. This is Red Stallion, right? You can't really see the names too well in the videos. And that's their one flaw. If they could start making identifiable bottles and put some money into the bottles, I know they put it all into the juice and the research and whatever else they're doing there. But if they could get these bottles to be like identifiable visibly, they would blow up even more. Like, think about how our Mof's doing like silly bottles, Lattafa's doing bottles that look like things from outer space, like all kinds of crazy nonsense, like so identifiable though. You know what I mean? They go viral. Even Hawas, like the purple juice, so identifiable. This thing though, all these bottles look the same, and that's I think the hardest thing that's the hardest thing that they have to go up against. Is just the bottles and the packaging, and then everything inside these though is so high quality and so good. It punches way over its pay grade or its weight class, or however you want to say it. These guys leave me speechless quite a bit. They are very, very seriously probably the top house of fragrances in my opinion. For price, what they deliver, for the promises they make, they deliver. They do have some misses, but to be honest, man, I keep discovering things from them, and I'm just like, I thought this was over. I'm like, what? They just keep coming. And they actually ended up getting me into like all kinds of new fragrance profiles because they're accessible and excellent. All right. This is Dark Knight. Now, this is Black Phantom clone from Killian. It's like this dark coffee kind of deal. A little bit of dark chocolate kind of coffee kind of vibe. So sick. It does remind me, you get that like burnt kind of coffee. It does remind me of coffee and whiskey a little bit, but this is way more realistic in the coffee. Definitely dark beans. Smoked like dark beans with some sweetness that's intertwined in it. And definitely Dark Knight is a keeper for me. I love it. Can't wait till it's really cold out so I can wear this more, because this is definitely a cool weather scent. And Dark Knight, right? So good. For like, I don't have anything like this. I have coffee and whiskey from Bath and Body Works, and that's it. And that one doesn't really do what this one does. This is a masculine take. That one's a little bit more unisex. This one's definitely pushing towards the masculinity a little bit more. Just in its darkness and its nature. It's a little bit sweet, but in like a espresso martini kind of deal. I don't know if there's like a booziness in this too. It's just so interesting. Dark Knight, super cool, dark fragrance. I mean, I'm glad they called it that. And also, I don't know if Batman will wear this, but he's the Dark Knight. Maybe he would wear it. I don't know if he drinks coffee. I feel like he definitely drinks coffee. He's probably up all night in his bat cave, like tweaking, like rocking back and forth, looking at stuff, trying to get this sprays, trying to get this on discount, because you can get like 30% off or something on Alexandria. All of us a couple weeks ago were going nuts on the Alexandria website. We were all messaging each other, yo, I got this, and this. Don't get it. I'll let you smell mine. Everybody's got like, I have like access to like every Alexandria fragrance between me and my friends that are all into the house. So yeah, bam, Dark Knight, definitely look into it. And here's some stories. So the top video is done now, but I need to on the tail end of this video, use my Alexandria time to tell you some Alexandria stories. All right. The Godfather from Alexandria. Do you see this little thing? I never smelled Nasomado's Barra Onda, and these guys are ballsy enough to try to clone that, okay? If you smell Barra Onda, you're going to be like, who in their right mind would ever try to clone this? You know, they don't talk about the no, I got no arms left. I got a little spot left right there. So great, guys. They really did get so close to that DNA, but it is much different. It is much different. Anyway, the Godfather led me to blind buying Barra Onda, and I'm so glad I did it because that's one of my absolute hits of the year, probably top 2-3 hits of the year that I got. Like, that fragrance is me. And the funny thing is, I didn't like this when I first smelled it, and that happens to me a lot. First time I smell something, I don't always like it, and then all of a sudden I wear it again, or I get curious and I go back to it and I'm like, oh man, actually that's incredible, that's so unique, that's me. This is crazy, guys. The Godfather got me into Nasomado's Barra Onda, so I want to get a full bottle of this Godfather. As soon as this sample's done, I'm gonna get through my Barra Onda a little bit. I'm going to get the Godfather. Reason I'm showing you these is because I'm seriously considering picking up a full bottle of this. The Godfather might be the next one in my collection, and to be honest, its unique level is off the charts. It's just beautiful and excellent, crazy friggin' masculine, awesome fragrance. Boozy whiskey, best whiskey scent in the game. Woodsy, smoky, maybe some florals. So complex and hard to explain. Just dapper as hell. Love it so much, guys. So here's a couple more that I'm thinking about getting. I got this drying down on a strip right now. Afternoon Splash. I think the only reason I haven't gotten Afternoon Splash yet is because I have Visionary, and there's something similar between the two, and this one tends to fade off and kind of not perform for me when I have worn it. I mean, I kind of knocked into this pretty good amount here. I got a pretty fat wearing of this, and I think it kind of does its thing and then it goes away kind of quick, so it can't keep up with Visionary. So why would I get something like that? I have been considering picking up Afternoon Splash, but it is definitely being pushed and pulled in my list. Pacific Coast. Pacific Coast is really nice, guys. It's another clone of a Louis Vuitton. Actually, the one I just showed you is also a clone of Louis Vuitton, but this one is a clone of Pacific Chill from Louis Vuitton. It's not my favorite of their DNAs, but this rendition is really good. So it's something that I got into because BT talked about it, and then so I picked up the sample, and now I'm like actually pretty happy about this sample, but I haven't committed for a full send on this because I don't know how it competes with Visionary. They are in the same slot, so when I go to reach for one of these, man, it's hard to not reach for Visionary. There's something similar to it, but definitely different. He described it as like a green kind of blue Gatorade, and I totally get that. Yep, exactly that. And then when he said it, now I'm thinking of that. But I do smell some like freshness, almost like a fruitiness to this. Freshness with like some zesty citrus stuff going on for sure. As you see in like a lot of the Louis Vuitton stuff, they have this like access to like this really crazy zesty citrus stuff, like sour kind of mouth-watering citruses. And this fruity thing going on in the middle. It's very light and sweet, not really too crazy on the sweetness, and a lot of freshness, right? Nothing heavy in it at all. Maybe some kind of a floral. Can't name it, I don't know. I don't really like going by notes. I like to try to describe it from how I understand it. But yeah, this is a freshie. It's nice. I think it lasts a little longer, and it's very, very close to being put in my cart, one of the smaller bottles. So Pacific Chill. And then, this week I got Bourbon, right? This is relevant, trust me. Bourbon, right, by Luciano. This is the Altair clone, or inspired by. It's really great, guys. So it's like bourbon vanilla, this dark vanilla fragrance. And some of the chemicals from like the Lamel DNA are in this, man. I'm telling you. Some of the chemicals from Lamel are in this. It's hard to explain the sweetness that's in it. It's like a little syrupy, but also like fruity in a way. I don't know. It's just a little crazy, this one. And I got this little one for free from them, Vanilla Abuse. and these smell identical. A little bit of difference in the Vanilla Abuse, but yo, I know it's crazy. I don't know if Vanilla Abuse is cloning Altair too, but it's definitely not being talked about enough. Vanilla Abuse, with all of the vanilla fragrances from Alexandria, like, they go nuclear, man. They absolutely go nuclear. It smells so close, guys. Vanilla Abuse and Bourbon by Luciano smell like identical. It's ridiculous. I'm like sitting here and I'm like, why this smells familiar to me? And I go to my sample and I put one on one and one on the other, and I'm like, oh my goodness. It might be a little fresher in a way, but there's something going on in these two that is identical, barely identical. It's so crazy. I didn't know that this even was in my collection like that. They sent it to me for free. I didn't even order it. So yeah, that's an alternative secret hidden gem that I want you guys to know about. Vanilla Abuse smells a lot like Bourbon from Luciano. It really does, guys. So close. But anyway, just had to get that out of the way because I did need to tell you guys about that. Maybe I'll make a short and talk about it too, but I did need to do that. And then we got Megatron. This is another like attempt at them to try to like clone Megamar by Ordo Parisi, which is kind of Nasumato's same perfumer. Which they have some grapes for trying to do that, because that's like a pretty distinct beast mode fragrance, and now they're competing with Lattafa's Atlas too. But hey, this smells really nice. I mean, it's like probably a pleasant rendition of it, to be honest. It's called Megatron. It's a cool ass name too. Super aquatic, kind of like oceanic smell with some fresh sweetness to it too. Almost like maybe a musky sweetness. It's very nice, guys. Very nice. So I was really considering getting a bottle of that too. And then I think that's it, guys. We sent it. We really went in. So number 1, Visionary. Number 2, Green Envy. Number 3, the Runway. Let's do it again. Visionary, number 1. The Runway, number 2. It's hard to remember these in that order. Number 3, Green Envy, for sure. Number 4, Brooklyn Fragrance Lover. Number 5, Ruthless Aqua. That's the top 5, boys. We need to know about the top 5. Ruthless Aqua was number 5. These were, like, this tour of fragrances I just gave you is way overkill. Way more than enough. Like, you can just have these and have a sick collection and smell great and smell better than everyone else at all times. There's no reason to get anything else. I mean, if I had to start over, that's what I would do. I would just get Alexandria's. If I had to start over, for sure. Would have saved me a lot of money, and I have a crazy quality of diversity. So you guys, I got a couple buddies who are like building up their collection with Alexandria's right now, and they're doing great. I'm pretty sure it's an American-based company, so what's not to love? I'm not affiliated with them at all. I'm not sponsored by them. I just think, guys, that I discovered some real gems here and a really great accessible house that, like, in our current economy, the way we all are like kind of just scraping by and trying to keep ourselves wealthy without, you know, breaking the bank for something luxurious. I mean, that's it. I found it. Anyway, yo, I appreciate all the attention. I always make a half-hour video. Oops. Anyway, love you guys. Love doing it. Peace.